John, would you be up for a play date?
Oh, sure. I'd be grateful if you'd come with me down to the playground because if I go down on my own, the little kids bully me off the swings. The other parents object when I try and play hopscotch with their kids, and
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
so no.
We'll team up and kick those kids off the swings, John. It sounds like a fun day out. We'll probably both get arrested, but anyway. Hey,
Yeah.
the importance though of play for us grown-ups doesn't, may or may not include a playground. Talk to us about the importance of play, John.
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, the importance of play for children can't be overestimated. I
Mm.
can remember when I was at the parenting place having to mount quite a vigorous argument against those that were trying to make preschool and kindergarten purely an academic
Oh,
thing. They're there to learn literacy and numeracy, and of course those things are important, but there's a stack of
I was there to
research
eat
that shows
sand mostly.
that the big,
That was
yeah,
that was the main reason I was there, was to eat sand, a bit of
yeah.
Play-Doh, and then mat time. I mean, I'm having flashbacks now. But sorry, I interrupted, John.
Yeah, I went there mainly to catch nits, but yeah, I found a stack of research that says that the best curriculum, the best academic curriculum for kids is play.
Wow.
It sets their brain up later on to be able to do all that learning that they have to get. But when you watch bear cubs or lion cubs or puppies playing, what are they doing? They're getting themselves ready for a life in the wild,
Yep.
and so our kids maybe not getting them ready for a life in the wild, but when they're playing with their mates, when they're playing with blocks and toys and things like this, they're learning how to control their bodies, they're learning how to use their brains, they're learning how to navigate social interactions.
Yep.
When they are too rowdy and destructive and set things on fire, they're learning about society's rules.
Yep.
Maybe not everybody else got into trouble for setting on things on fire, but that's another story.
Yep.
We didn't need that shed anyway. But, play teaches you so much. And I pity the child that enters, later life without those skills that you learn from play, even
Mm.
if they do know how to read and can speak ancient Greek and know their seven times table, which I never got around to actually mastering. But so maybe, I'm preaching to the choir here that you know that it's important for kids, but there's a lot of evidence that says it's important for adults too. And
Okay.
it's a tragic thing that maybe people take too seriously. That verse in Corinthians that says, but when I became a man, I set aside childish
I was
things.
thinking of that verse, John. You can read me like
Yes.
a book, and it's quite a boring one. Uh, but because we do get that thing where it's, no, 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 I'm a grown up. Now I have to wear a suit to go to work.
Oh,
Uh,
yes,
and,
yes.
and all of these sorts of things. I need to put those childish things aside. I need to at least pretend like I'm an adult. It can be a bit of a challenge, can't it?
Greatly overrated. Greatly overrated. I mean, what did Jesus say? How are we supposed to enter the kingdom of heaven
Yeah,
as a little child?
yeah.
But I'm not going to draw too much on theology. That's not my strong suit. I'd much rather just point to a lot of psychology that says that play for adults is incredibly beneficial for our health and our happiness.
Hmm.
It reduces stress. It gives us more opportunities to relax. It releases endorphins, our natural mood elevators. And so it, playfulness has been linked to greater creativity. If you go to these Silicon Valley think tanks and things, what have they got? They've got slides and ball pits and all sorts of silly things for their workers to play in
Yeah.
because it just sort of makes new connections in their brain and gets them more creative. And play gives you a sense of hope, it gives you a sense of humor and boosts, what life's all about, which is, satisfaction and getting on with other people and builds relationships, it stimulates the brain. What's not to like about it, apart from
Hey,
the fact that you're not making any money when you're doing it?
Exactly. Hey, just a little bit of a clarification on this. When you talk about adult play, and I'm not getting into anything
Mm.
anything X-rated on this, but we're talking more
Hmm.
than just a game of Monopoly or even some sort of Candy Crush thing on your phone. What does adult play look like by your definition, John?
Mind you, I'm not going to knock board games and playing on your phone
Okay.
and online gaming. They can be part of it for sure. But no, I'm talking about think back to the things that you used to enjoy doing, and probably it's in the same zone. If you enjoyed getting outside and moving, it might be that you still get involved in some type of sport
Yeah.
or some derivation of it. Like um, I still really enjoy my cycling, and that gives me a hang of a lot of fun and opportunities to play with people.
Yeah.
But if you're not, if you're thinking, well, how could I become more playful? I'm getting a bit stiff and crotchety if I tried to play hacky sack now and do my knee in. So
Yeah.
again, think back to what you used to do, and that'll probably give you a hint on what could be still quite a good area of fun for you now. It might be that you like dancing, collecting things, exploring things, doing group activities, doing some type of sport, something that was in the arts, something that was competitive. Well, guess what? There's still things you can do
Yeah.
in the adult sphere that are like that. And so if it's something that gets you out and about or being social, being competitive, hey, that might be pushing all sorts of buttons to you. And it needs to rate as some type of priority. The real objection is not so much your lack of opportunities or your lack of or resources to do it. It's probably the sense of guilt of this is not a worthwhile thing to do,
Yeah.
or I should be doing so. I should really get round to painting that back fence or something like that. Oh, let it fall down
Yeah.
and go out and have some fun. Honestly, life is too short not to have a bit of fun. One of the great things about being a grandparent is that I have learned how to play again with my grandchild.
Yeah.
And it's delightful. A lot of you will have had that fun of actually of actually just the playing with the
I
kids.
think there's a special role for grandparents in this one, because the parents are still figuring out how to adult, and they have to be serious, whereas a granddad can be absolutely ridiculous and rolling around on the floor giggling for hours. I mean,
I'm
some happy
fulfilling that
memories.
role, that job description. Yes, I think modern parents, as I've said many times, are doing a wonderful job. If
Yeah.
they've got a fault, it's they're taking it all a bit too seriously.
Yeah.
And to relax and enjoy your kids is one of the cardinal rules of parenthood. And so, yeah, to be silly, to get down, to play,
And hey, if you don't have a grandchild that you can play with, hey, why not volunteer to help out with mainly music in your church, or perhaps the children's church on a Sunday morning, or connect with extended whānau and find that space, rediscover play, and perhaps the younger generation can help point you in the right direction.
They can, and so can animals.
Okay.
I think that animals have got a wonderful benefit to our human nature by giving us opportunities to play and to walk. And I see that every day when I'm down on the beach, and there's lots and lots of very content people down there with their dogs. And I just think they just provide a wonderful boost to life. But it's more than these things. It's an attitude.
Mhm.
It's a mindset as much as an activity. And so if you start small and be open to new experiences and give yourself permission to have fun. Well, actually, I'll start. I give you permission to have fun. There you go.
Thanks. I've got a note
Your
from
boss
John.
might disagree, but you're allowed to have fun.
I've got a note from John Cowan. I'm allowed to go on a play date. John, really appreciate your wisdom, but also the humour that you bring to our conversations. Thanks so much for being on the program.
Cheers.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.